Hi everybody, today is July 3rd, 2013. Well, evidently the military coup has taken over Egypt. They have suspended the constitution and have removed Mohamed Morsi from presidency, I guess. I think you'll remember when the military took over all the violence that happened. I think we're going to be looking at more of the same. The Egyptian military seized power Wednesday from President Mohamed Morsi, following demonstrations and days of unrest over the leadership of Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood. I did a report how our military has been in contact with the Egyptian military prior to this. The military had earlier prevented Morsi from traveling, and his whereabouts were unknown. And evidently there are celebrations going on in the square right now. I'll show you videos of that. The coup was announced on state television by the General Abdul Fattah Sisi, who told Egyptians that the constitution would be suspended as he led the country through a transition period he described as a roadmap towards further leadership. Hundreds of thousands of people gathered in Cairo's Tahrir Square responded with roars, applause, and fireworks, marking an end to what had become a disgruntled and unruly regime. Morsi had been elected the year before in the wake of Egypt's overthrow of decades of dictatorship by Hosni Mubarak. Egypt, long a central U.S. ally in the Middle East, is the largest and most important Arab country, although it did not seed the Arab Spring. Right. The fact that Egyptians became such a key part of the movement that began in Tunisia gave rise to other protests and calls for freedom across the Middle East. The initial change in power which brought Morsi to the presidency was an early test for the Obama administration and how it would respond to calls for democracy. That also meant the exit of strategic partnerships begun decades earlier. Just a day earlier, the Obama administration was cautious in its response to demonstration calling for Morsi's ouster and strongly denied that it was pushing for early elections. We think that a peaceful political resolution is the preferred option and what's best for the Egyptian people, State Department spokeswoman Jen Psaki said before the takeover. How quickly the Pentagon and the military there in Egypt take action. You need to watch the video I posted earlier today about what was going on there in Egypt. Egyptians new to the democratic process quickly grew wary of Morsi's Muslim Brotherhood, a party founded on Islamic faith in a largely secular state that had never been run by religious rule. This was an experiment in political Islam that many in Egypt say went terribly wrong. NBC News' Richard Engel reported from Tahrir Square. They didn't have the institutions to impeach him. There were not the political structures in place to do anything else to remove him. The government estimates that at least 16 people have been killed and another 200 injured in the demonstrations. One of those was a United States freelance journalist or student. He was killed, stabbed to death, filming, taking pictures of the demonstrations. And you watch with the military take over, it's going to be a commonplace there, this violence. With the military takeover, Egypt now enters uncertain political territory, creating renewed instability in the Middle East, as conflicts rage in nearby Syria and the United States attempts reconciliation among Israelis and Palestinians. Sisi had been appointed by Morsi, but the relationship did not help to ease tensions and suspicion between the military and the Muslim Brotherhood. In a speech televised overnight Tuesday, Morsi adamantly and passionately defended his right to rule, using the word legitimacy 57 times and focusing on his accession to power through a democratic election. If the price of preserving legitimacy is my blood, I am prepared to pay it, Morsi said. He warned that military action to force his removal would backfire on its perpetrators. And I agree, I think it will. It's kind of like a cheating spouse. If you have a spouse that's cheating, he's going to continue that cheating affair once he goes off with some other woman, right? Once a cheater, always a cheater. His critics countered on the military affiliate Facebook page titled Final Hours. We swear to God that we will sacrifice even our blood for Egypt and its people to defend them against any terrorist, radical, or fool. Sisi and advisors met earlier in the day with Mohammed El Baradei, the former head of the UN nuclear agency, who returned to Egypt last year and worked hard to foment democratic change in his native country. El Baradei knows Obama and many world leaders personally from his work at the UN and has served as both a sounding board and mediator during the last tumultuous year of political change. Well, guess who they're going to put into office? I believe his education that he received was here in the United States. So here's a video of the demonstration, celebration, whatever you want to call it. Bookmark my site. I'll keep you up to date. Please stay safe. And I'll talk to you later. God bless you. Bye.